Hey, ski moms! If you're like me, packing for a ski trip can be a challenge, especially when it comes to your boots and gear. That's why I'm excited to share the Diamant Weekend Warrior ski boot bag. We have been using it for a year now, and it's seriously the best ski boot bag out there. And over the summer, Diamant improved the already incredible design and launched their new 2.0 model. And we've got a special 20% off discount code to share with you. The key thing to know is that this bag is TSA approved and fits perfectly in the overhead bin as a carry-on. No more worrying about lost luggage or paying fees to check your boot bag. My ski boots are the one part of my ski kit I never rent. And if they don't make it to my ski destination, my trip's pretty much over before it starts. That's why I love my Diamant Weekend Warrior ski boot bag. The bag is designed by skiers for skiers with a water-resistant and ventilated boot compartment that keeps my ski boots dry and fresh. We've teamed up with Diamant to get you 20% off the Weekend Warrior ski boot bag for your whole family. Just use code SKIMOMS at checkout. Trust me, this bag will change how you travel. And the new Weekend Warrior boot bag comes in 3 colors: Diamant Black, Vermont Green, and Bluebird Blue. Which one will you pick to upgrade your gear? Head over to diamantskiing.com and invest in yourself this season while inventory is still in stock.
Welcome back to the Ski Moms podcast. It's season 5 and we're hitting the slopes. We're sharing real, unfiltered stories of motherhood on the snow. From conquering the bunny hill with toddlers to squeezing in your own powder days, this season celebrates every type of ski mom. Thanks for joining us. We've got a great season lined up, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Ski Moms are delighted to have Barbara Sanders with us today. She is the founder and publisher of Snow Magazine and the creative force behind the Snow Society and Snow Tequila. She's based in Aspen, and she's been shaping mountain culture since her early days with the Aspen Ski Co. She's equal parts entrepreneur, adventurer, and she's known for her bold style, big ideas, and love of all things snow. Welcome, Barbara.
Thanks so much for having me.
We always love to start our conversations with an origin story. Was it love at first sight when you saw the flakes flying? Were you a late in life learner? How did you find your way to the mountains?
So it was an early passion. I started skiing in Mammoth when I was 5 years old. My parents taught me how to lie very early so I could get into ski school and they could ditch me for the day. And I grew up in LA, but I was lucky enough to ski 5 days every month. My dad would close his office and we'd go skiing. It was just a passion. And I have a friend today who's still mad at me for all that time I skipped out and went skiing.
Did you also have to lie to miss school, or were we just lying to get into ski school?
Just to get into ski school. School knew we were going skiing. And those were in the days where we didn't know about sunscreen. So, it was pretty obvious you went skiing.
So you found your way to Aspen. Tell us a little bit about that story, how you migrated from LA to the mountains as a permanent home.
So after college, I went to Mammoth, spent 17 years there, and the Sierras are really always going to be home to me. But I got invited to come work on Aspen Mountain Ski School by Tony Fry, and I was like, okay, why not? It's time for something new. And, it was a really great move. Aspen's an amazing town, and the world comes here. So it's really, I love that because I love traveling the world, and I love that the world comes to Aspen.
What were you doing for the 17 years in Mammoth?
So I was teaching skiing and I was a supervisor on the ski school.
And tell us, so that was the first chapter of your career, and then there was a lot more in your intro. So I want to hear more about what you've been doing in Aspen and all these different businesses you've started.
Well, for a while, I was involved with Ski TV and ESPN, NBC. I worked with World Cup skiing coverage. I started writing back in the day for Skiing Magazine I did a segment with, it was called Private Lessons, and I did it with AJ Kitt for 2 years. And I was the pro and he was the racer, and we kind of compared, drills and things like that from our different perspectives that we thought were important for skiers as they develop. So I did that in the, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s. And then one of my clients in Aspen was asking me what I thought about ski magazines, and we'd been drinking some lunch. Is it drinking some lunch? Yeah, I guess we were drinking some wine at lunch. Then we went up the gondola, and I was thinking, and I was like, well, none of the magazines really talk a lot about fashion or a lot about lifestyle. They're very sports specific. And that was my passion and skiing around the world and things like that. So I was like, well, if I had a magazine, that's what I would do. And then he surprised me and said, well, why don't you pitch me? And I was like, are you serious? And he said, yeah. So he had started, it was Terry Snow, funny enough, and he had World Publications, which had just merged with Bonnier. And he started his first magazine, which was Water Skier Magazine. He said, I was a pro water skier and I was able to do this based on passion. And you have a lot of passion. You have a lifetime in this business. So why not? And I think everyone in the business was freaking out. They're like, oh my God, Terry's letting a ski instructor start a magazine. And the early days were crazy. I went with my friend Joni to Vegas to the trade show that used to be there. And they'd be like, so tell me about your circulation. And I'd say, I don't know. When it's cold, I'm kind of cold. They're like, no, how many copies do you print? I mean, I was as green could be, but I had that passion and I'm still here 18 years later. So it seems to have worked.
Well, for those who haven't picked up the magazine, I would say, do it when you can ASAP. It is a glossy, old school, divine magazine, like the days that where you used to, cut spreads out and put them on your wall because they're so beautiful and inspired. Did you find your voice and your vision right away with this magazine? Because I've only known it, I guess it's been on my radar for probably 5 or 6 years since I started going to Aspen. Did you find your voice and your vision right away, or was it an evolution?
Well, my dad was a photographer. Well, he was an ophthalmologist, but he was also a photographer. So I really got a schooling on how to see and photography and things like that. So I feel like I've always been super visual. I'm a visual learner. I see someone skiing well, I want to follow and mimic. But it definitely, I learned so much through the years. And I am not the same person I was 18 years ago. So it's been a journey, and I am lucky enough. I have an amazing editor, Leslie Voigt. I work with phenomenal writers. I have a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner, David Shribman, who works for me, or who writes for Snow. I have a great crew that we work with all the time. Leslie Anthony, Matthias Fredrickson, we work with a lot. We just have a really great team of people on the magazine, and I'm so fortunate, and I love their work.
And what would be just some examples of the types of stories and content we would find in Snow?
So lots of fashion. I shoot 14 to 16 pages of fashion editorial. This year, because it's Milano Cortina Olympics, ended up shooting in Milan. And I'd wanted kind of a Western feel because a lot of the clothing had fringe and had this Western feeling. And I found Cowboy Land just outside Milan. Most of my friends from Italy have never heard of it, but it's a very cool place. So we did a day at Cowboy Land, and then we did a day in studio. So we shot everything this year in Milan. We also shot one of the best skiers in the world, Lucas Brathen, who's kind of famous for dancing samba. He's the face of Montclair, dancing samba in the finish line. So he lives in Milan, so that all worked out well. And then we'll do features of skiing around the world. We'll talk about wellness, wherever we have an in. So Snow is not the place to go for information. Go to the internet if you need to know that Aspen has 4 mountains. We're really sharing insider stories and letting you meet the people that are part of this world. Can I give you a scoop? Okay, so
We love a scoop. Let's hear it.
I'm
Yep.
going to LA, and we have Chelsea Handler who's going to be on the next cover.
I love that. So for those living under a rock, Chelsea Handler is a very devoted skier. On her birthday, she has done naked skiing. as an annual celebration. And I think this past year, maybe she just turned 50. I think they did wear swimsuits, but she tried to get the most women in a bikini coming down the mountain. I love
That's
her energy.
correct. She is amazing. I've been a huge fan for a long time. Her new book, I'll Have What She's Having. She has her picture with a ski hat and goggles. And I love her ski stories when she tells them. They are so funny. So, really excited about this collab coming this week.
I like what you were saying. It is not Google. It is your content is not only inspirational, but it's also kind of evergreen because the glamorous fashions that you're evoking through your images harken back to, the glam days of skiing, back in the 60s and a little bit in the 80s when, people were wearing outfits to head to the mountains because they looked great. With the magazine, where is it distributed? How would somebody come across it and find it? And is it on, can we find images online as well?
So, it's both a print and digital magazine. I distribute across the top ski resorts in North America. And I have a separate magazine called Snow the Alps that's in Europe. And mostly you'll find it in the top resorts, in room, in market. You can also find the magazine on the snowmag.com. So, it's advertising based. So I want to make it easy. I send to first class airport lounges. I send to over 100 different retailers. So I want people to be able, who are passionate, to be able to find the magazine.
The magazine's been running successfully, and you can't be stopped with just that. You've got to layer in other entrepreneurial efforts as well. You're the founder of Snow Society. Let's start there. What is that, and what do we need to know about it?
So the Snow Society is a private membership that some of my friends convinced me to start out of COVID. I'd been thinking about doing something like this for a long time, and to make the magazine more of an experience. And I decided to pull the trigger. So I started with founding members. Now I think I have over 110 members. People pay $1,500 to join. And I do a demo day where people get to ski with the likes of Bodie Miller, Travis Ganong, you name it. We get to try all the new skis. I connect the dots with a lot of my advertisers. So, yeah, if they're coming to Aspen to do something special, I'll invite my members. And I do ski trips around the world. So I've taken my members to Portillo in Chile. I've taken them to Lech in Austria, Courchevel in France, the Dolomites, of course. And this year we have a group going to the Olympics in the Dolomites in Cortina. And, I feel like anyone can be a travel agent. Anyone can book people and take them. But I connect the dots in a unique way. So when our trip to Cortina, Montclair has a special après-ski party for us in Cortina. Jet Set's putting on a party for us, so we have extraordinary experiences a lot because of the tourist boards I work with. I work very closely with Austrian tourism, and those things line up to make, a pretty amazing experience. We've skied with Axel Lund Svindal on trips that my members have skied with Julia Mancuso. It's kind of the magic comes together.
And about how many people would you expect on one of these trips?
The biggest trip ever was 15. I like them 10 or less because it's better when it's more intimate, and it's, I want to really take care of people. Most of the people I really know and know well, so it's not a big surprise. I know what they love already pretty much, but yeah, I like the small group situation, but I also do custom trips. I have, I'm sending a member to Niseko this year because I did a Niseko trip last year. And so I do things like that for the members as well.
And do you have to have a referral or a private invitation to join, or is anybody welcome to join?
Generally how it's worked is a member has recommended them. Otherwise they would reach out and speak to me because I want to make sure it's a fit. It's one of those things that, because some of it is, people go, well, what do I get? You're not just buying a set of steak knives. It is very experiential, and I do everything I can to connect the dots. And if people want something special, like, hey, my kids are really into ski racing, they want to ski just with Julia Mancuso, I'll be like, let me call Julia. Let me see if I can hook that up. So it's things like that.
And what does the demographic look like of this membership?
It's interesting. I was thinking it was gonna be more in the beginning. I think it was a little more people, if like 50, 60. But I do have a lot of young members, which I love. I would say probably 28 on up.
Speaking of 28, you also launched a tequila brand. Tell us about Snow Tequila. Why enter into this, which is a little off-piste for the other things that you've developed?
It is very off-piece, double black diamond. Well, my son was invited to Cabo one time, and his friend Maritz, his mom, Katrina, said, because she has a place in Cabo, said, "I want to start a clean tequila company, and I want to call it Snow." She's German, and she thought snow is the most beautiful thing she could think of. And my son starts laughing and said, "Well, you should talk to my mom. She's Snow everything." So we teamed up, and we've been doing this for a while, and we have yeah, Cristalino Reposado. We're launching a mountain bottle very soon that we're really excited about, with mountain peaks in the cap. And we're in SoFi Stadium. It's really starting to happen for us. It's taken a little bit of time. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Well, I love that your son's friend is named Moritz. I think that's just a perfect name. But was this another example? It didn't sound like you had any background in alcohol and beverages, so you just figured it out again?
We figured it out. So back to Moritz. Well, his mom, Katrina, my partner, she has 4 kids, and they're all named after ski resorts. So she has Moritz, Chamonix, Brighton, and Soleil from the Port de Soleil. So it was kind of, we were meant to be together because there was someone as ski and snow focused as I was. It's a very male dominated business, and we are female owned and operated. We have a female maestra tequilera. We're working with Ana Maria Romero, who's really a big name in the business, from Mi Genta and Volcán de Michera. We have women doing our packaging and bottling, and so that's a big part of our story. Being clean is a big part of our story. And we're launching in Europe this year because they really get après ski.
Well, I love this energy, Barbara, that you just don't wait for an invitation. You make the party around you and invite others. And I think the Ski Moms can learn a lot about that. We have a lot of founder stories that we share here. And as a founder who's now launched successfully at least three things that we know of, what would you tell some of the women who maybe have an idea and they're not quite sure about when to launch, how to launch? How would you inspire them to just get started?
When you feel something in your heart that you're passionate about, you can do anything. And it's a question of just doing it, believing in yourself, reaching out to people. Everyone knows somebody who can help and support. And it's a journey. Nothing happens, yesterday, even though I wanted to happen yesterday. But when you're passionate, you have that great energy, and you can do it.
So you've got a lot going on right now between all these different businesses. What does your day look like, and how do you keep all these moving?
My day is crazy. I'm publishing a book in 2 weeks. It's called The Condor Prophecy, A Woman's Journey Out of Exile. And there's a ski element. So it's the story of my friend Pam, who sadly passed away from cancer 2 years ago. But she grew up in Chile during the years of the Pinochet dictatorship. And you read the book, you hear her story and everything that happened in her life. But a crazy twist and turn, she ended up working in Portillo, meeting the tuners for the U.S. ski team, and becoming the only female ski tuner ever for the U.S. ski team. She won a Europa Cup with Steve Nyman. So it's her story, and it's really crazy. So you'll see, we're writing about it in Snow, and you'll see it on our channels of the Condor Prophecy. I am spinning a lot of plates, and I just try to keep them spinning so I can run away. You don't even want to see my desk. I have like Post-it notes everywhere. It's not good. But it's the reminder of like, oh, book cover approval. Okay, yeah, I did that. Okay. Oh, I'm doing this social media shoot. I need to get a package from that modeling agency. What else is there? Oh, yeah, I gotta pick up some prints today. So, that's kinda how I run.
When you are in season there in Aspen, are you carving out time to make sure you still get to physically experience the snow and the reason that drew you into this business to begin with?
100%. Well, I still teach skiing on Aspen Mountain part-time, so I think I gave them 160 hours this last winter. So I'm skiing with some of my favorite people. It's people I've skied with forever. And yeah, I can walk to the gondola in, you know, less than 10 minutes. And so I teach skiing, so I get a pass and a locker. So I can just run there and throw on my boots and hop on the gondola.
And are you teaching adults, children, everything?
Mostly adults, because it's mostly people I've skied with for so many years. So it's parents, grandparents, but it's more adults, I would say overall. I'll teach my son's kids.
And with your insider's knowledge of Aspen, is there sort of an insider's tip? Because obviously Aspen can get very expensive. Are there any tips of like, you know what? People don't know this, but when you come in, the first week of April, not only will you get good snow, but you'll be able to get a table. Are there any things like that that you'd want to share with our audience?
Well, what you just said is 100% right. If you're coming at Christmas or President's Week, it's busy and it's crazy and it's hard. I have friends who set an alarm for the 30-day reservation mark, and sometimes they still don't get it. So, it's just really tough. But the more you get to know people and make the connections. So, like with my club, if they say, oh, I really want to go to Aosta for dinner, I'm going to call Sam and say, hey, one of my members, can you squeeze them in? Or, I'm a huge fan of Wayan in Aspen. It's a new restaurant that just landed this year and it's beautiful. It's French Indonesian. And, so I'll call Raf and see what I can make happen. But so things work that way. But yeah, if you come in, late March, early April, the snow is usually still amazing and you can go places and enjoy it. It's not, getting reservations in many places, Aspen, Niseko. I'm like gearing up to get reservations for this one client because it's harder than anything else I do. Than than hiring ski pros, than making all the bookings. So, that's what's tough in some of these places. I mean, I have a member who joined my club because he wanted to go to Bagatelle in Courchevel, and I helped him get lunch reservations at Bagatelle.
Membership paid off right there. When we're thinking about Aspen and we're thinking about like bringing a family there because we do have moms with younger kids, would you say, would you steer them right to Snowmass? Would you say spend a day trip at Buttermilk? Or do you think we can make a great time of it in more of the village and right at the big mountain?
It really depends on the level of the skier. For very young kids who haven't skied before, I think Buttermilk is amazing. They have that great new center. It's very safe and enclosed. They have great instructors. Because, getting kids, I was one of those moms. I put my poor son Micah on snow at 6 months. The first time he ever stood up in his life without holding onto a table was on skis because the boots held him up. I have a picture of him with the little bottle in his mouth and his hands because, I'm just that person. But, you want kids to like it actually. So having that great experience, I think that they can have at Buttermilk and also at Snowmass. I would definitely focus on those two for kids learning to ski. When they're better, Mish has an amazing program at Highlands. And then when they're ready, they can ski Aspen Mountain. But if they go too steep too early, they get really defensive. So you want snow and skiing to be fun. Hot chocolate breaks are a big part of what's going on. I've taught skiing my entire life, like for over, I don't even know, want to do the math. And year round, I taught New Zealand, Chile. And, I remember those times sweating and swearing, putting my son's ski boots on. And it was like, okay, I got to take him to ski school.
Planning your next mountain holiday? Skip skip the crowded platforms and check out Ski Mom Family Rentals, a trusted space to find family-friendly homes in ski towns across North America. And if you're a homeowner, it's a smart way to get your property in front of like-minded ski families without the big fees. Whether you're booking your next getaway or want more visibility and bookings for your home, visit skimomfamilyrentals.com and make your mountain time matter.
So all of the mountains there, if we're not familiar with them, would you say are there options to hire guides to get more familiar with the terrain?
Yes.
That's something you'd recommend.
We have a great ski school. And, the benefit of hiring a pro, we did a story on this last year, is that this pro is also your access to helping you get into restaurants. Oh, you have a problem with your boot? Let's go see Mosh. Let's get something dialed in there. Oh, you need a new outfit? Let's go to Gorsuch or Performance or Miller. These are what a good guide does is it's full circle. They're helping you with everything that has to do with skiing.
You touched on a topic that's very important to me, is the shopping and fashion scene in Aspen. It is like nowhere else. And I always tell people you need to build in half a day to people watch at least while you're there. You need to get an outdoor table by a heat lamp and just watch the world go by. Do you have favorite places? So somebody's making their first trip so they can get the right clothes to, you don't want to blend in Aspen. You want to, you stand out by being too boring. So you blend by having some pieces that are statement pieces. Where would you send a visitor to make sure she can get those pieces?
Well, I would say if you're looking for something, I shot this great outfit of Cordova this last year, Miller Sports for sure, or Tony Seiler there. Goldberg is another brand I love, and you can go to both Performance Ski and Gorsuch for that. I really, Montclair is building a brand new store in Aspen, so you can get that there. Another kind of small brand that I love, and they have a store in Aspen, is We Norwegians. And you go see John there and he'll take good care of you. But you can't go wrong. If you're at Miller Sports, Ted's going to help you out and get you dressed. Lee, the same thing at Performance. And the team at Gorsuch, they'll look after you, and you can check out all the brands in snow and see what you like. This is some news this year. Keton, the luxury brand, they have a really cool ski line this year. We were lucky enough to shoot that in Italy. So, you can go see Mindy and she'll get you dialed in and the latest at Keton.
And if we were looking for you out on the slopes, like what does your go-to outfit look like?
I change it up a lot. I have this favorite outfit from last year's Rosignol line, that Castelbajac. You'll almost never find me in black. I'm not going to a funeral, I'm going skiing, so I like bright colors and fun, and I like to push the envelope, so it's always something different, but I do like that it's well made and it's warm. Definitely warm.
Yeah, let's dispel the notion that just because something is beautiful that it's not going to keep you dry and warm as well. I think the brands that you're mentioning, Montclair and Goldberg, I mean the pieces that I have from them to keep me just as warm as like your, everyday piece from Basic brand. They're technically superior brands as well.
They really are. They have fit wired. I mean, when you're this size, and you're good to go, and you're really warm.
And agree or disagree, you ski better when you look good.
Agree 100%. But there are days, I feel like, God, do I have the chutzpah? Certain outfits, they need a lot of energy. We had this yellow suit on my cover last year and from Rosie, and I definitely had to feel like, yeah, when I was wearing that suit.
Love it. Absolutely love it. One of your taglines when we were doing our research on you is that you are a, quote, big mountain table dancer. You've got to explain what that means, and also how important is après-ski to you and your lifestyle.
Well, après-ski is everything, and thus no tequila. Skiing, the party, a lot of it started in my Portillo days and dancing on tables there. In Europe, people don't think twice. Now we've gotten a little sous crazy and everyone's like trying to pull you down off the table. I got a little carried away in Portillo in the days and I broke a table or two. So I was banned for a while from the table. So I had to start swinging from the chandeliers. There's still nothing better when the mood hits, not when, you're forced to do it or they turn up the music high, but when you're just feeling it and you just get out there and it's a little of the oons oons, but it's just seizing the moment.
That's amazing. So is there a certain spot we would find you table dancing now in Aspen?
They cramp your style so much. Snow Lodge, the Snow Lodge, they let you go more. Other places, they see you get up and they run right over to tell you to get down.
So more in Europe then. We can
Or
we
in
can
Europe, I
we'll
would
see you
yeah.
in Italy.
You know what I'm talking about, Barbara? Over at Highlands, they would have like the champagne
Oh,
popping.
Cloud 9, yeah.
Cloud Nine. Yeah,
You will
does
love
that still
Great.
exist?
Yes. Still Cloud 9, it's still going strong.
With the tequila, when you're talking about it being clean, let's take a minute to explain what that means.
Tequila, as it's evolved and has gotten so popular, people have been putting a lot of additives into the tequila. So even though the bottle says 100% agave, it's not 100% agave in the bottle. So there's been multiple lawsuits from very famous brands. So it is, we feel it's important to stay true to having 100% agave in the bottle.
And where can we find snow tequila if we want to try it?
You can go to our website, snowtequila.com, and I can give everyone who's listening a special code, Snow Friend, and they get 15% off. Capital S, capital F. And then we're at the liquor store in Aspen at the Grog Shop and at Roxy's. We're at, where else are we? Well, we just opened Beaver Liquors in Beaver Creek. We're at Riverwalk. We have more on premise than off, but as people are really starting to like our tequila, we need to have more liquor stores that have our tequila.
Are we drinking it neat? Are we drinking it like mixed with something or as you like?
It's kind of as you like. It's meant because it's a reposado, so it's aged for 6 months, and we do cristalinos because we don't want brown snow. we so we're always going to do cristalinos, which means it's filtered with charcoal. So that's an added. We like to say we have a wellness story, but we're not saying drink alcohol, it's good for you. We're saying if you're choosing to drink alcohol, this is one of the cleanest choices you can make. So it's filtered with charcoal, and that's why it's clear. But it is an aged spirit, which gives it a lot of nuance and flavors. And, our mountain bottle will have a Cristalino Añejo, but it will still stick with the Cristalinos.
So when it comes to après-ski, so you would be drinking your snow, you'd be finding a table where you could dance with some inspired music. And would you be drinking it neat or would you be, mixing a classic Barbara cocktail that we need to know about?
I like it both ways, and our favorite accessory is the shot ski because nothing gets a party going faster than the shot ski. You gotta bring friends. You can't shot ski by yourself. So I'm a big fan of the shot ski, but I like some of the mixologists. We're at a bar in Manhattan Beach, ex Speakeasy, and he has made the most crazy cool cocktail. So I love seeing what different mixologists do with our tequila. It's amazing. We have a signature cocktail, a snow spritz, which is really light and easy to drink. But we have plenty. We have one we call an Aspen 75, which is our take, or a Snow 75, which is our take on the French 75. So if on our website, we have a whole list of our favorite cocktails.
Those all sound great. We'll check out those recipes and we'll link to them. And Nicole and I will definitely try them. Just have to get our hands on some of the tequila.
And
It
I do
sounds amazing. I didn't even know that there was
Do something for
clean
your
tequila and
next
not clean
podcast.
tequila.
I want to get advice for the proper way to shot ski without getting it all over everybody because I've seen some like messy situations with the shot skis.
It's about the timing. We did an event at Le Depot in Park City, and I think they got everyone all lined up on their upper balcony, and they timed it 1, 2, 3, and it's like everyone drink on 3, everyone chip on 3.
Barbara, this has been such a fun conversation. And for anybody that says, motherhood and fun in the mountains cannot coexist, you are living proof that it can definitely happen. So when we want to find more about your adventures and your travels, where can we go to find out where you are at any given moment?
Oh, I need to get better myself. I have an amazing gal, Andriana, who does our social for Snow Tequila and Snow Magazine. So that's probably the best place to go. I am the snow fashionista, but I still haven't even posted from like July. I've been just too crazy. And I have Andriana who does everything so well. So I let her handle that.
Well, Barbara, thank you so much for your time today and for keeping it chic and fashionable in the mountains and making sure that skiing never gets too serious and is always infused with a great amount of fun as well. Hey, ski moms, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and got some great tips for your next family ski adventure. If you had as much fun listening as we did making this episode, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. And don't forget to rate and review us. Your feedback helps us bring you more of the content you love and helps other ski moms find our podcast. Plus, we love hearing from you. So whether you're on the slopes or just dreaming of your next snowy getaway, stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes with your friends, and let's keep this awesome community growing.
Ski season starts early in Boston at Snowbound Expo 2025, November 14th to 16th at the Menino Convention and Exhibition Center. It's the ultimate gathering for skiers and riders. Shop gear and apparel with discounts up to 70% off. Meet top resorts and brands. And hear inspiring stories from athletes like Zeb Powell, Amy Engerbretson, and Donnie Pelletier. Bring the whole family for hands-on fun, from trampoline shows to ski lessons for kids, or come with friends and dive into New England's biggest winter kickoff party. We've got discounted tickets. You can get $10 tickets for the weekend at snowboundexpo.com/tickets with code MOMTRENDS10. Snowbound Expo Boston. Kickstart your season here.